Today we are building the biggest Minecraft figure army I have ever made on this channel. We have around 80 different figures in this video, and even some custom builds made by me, so make sure you watch until the end. And before we start, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and let's build all of them. And we are starting with this set of 8 Minecraft figures. Let's begin with the first one. What do we have here? This is clearly going to be a pig with a chest.
No.
Not bad. Next up, we have the Blaze, a flying mob, and honestly, I was a little worried this one would fall apart. But surprisingly, everything holds together well, and I actually like this one. Here we have a classic black skeleton. And what do we have here? Can you guess it already? I think it's pretty obvious. This is the Wither. Leave a like if you have already got the Nether Star in Minecraft. We have seen the Wither in other sets before, but honestly, this version might be the coolest one so far. Now what is next? A chicken. But wait, what happened to the print? Guys, this is bad. The build itself is actually very simple, and the chicken turned out pretty big. Usually in other sets, the chicken is much smaller, but here it is a full-size figure. And honestly, I would really like it if the face print wasn't so terrible. Now we have something green. Who is this supposed to be? A creeper? This is actually a zombie, or more specifically, a baby zombie. The build is super simple, but everything looks neat. The only real minus is the uncovered back. I really wish they had closed it properly. And now we have the next big bag. What is this? Okay, this is definitely a creeper now, and it's a big one. One problem stands out immediately. There is some extra plastic on the part, but we can clean that up pretty quickly. From a design point of view, I actually like this figure so far. It is simple but nice, and structurally it feels like this figure will be playable. The head probably rotates a little too easily, but overall the figure looks great. The legs are very simple but reliable. Nothing falls off, everything is well fixed, and the whole figure feels playable. What is this red thing inside the head? They even left some empty space inside, with a little lid. What are we supposed to put in there? Write your ideas in the comments. This is a real creeper. Big, simple, sturdy, and fun. Now let's open the next bag. There is something big and gray here. Oh, even 2 bags. So this is clearly going to be a large figure. This is the redstone golem. The body construction is very dense, and I really like that. Nothing is going to fall off here, 100%. This is a truly vandal-proof golem. The head is fixed firmly. It probably rotates a little more than it should, but that is not a big problem. The arms and legs use the simplest construction ever, but that actually makes the figure stronger. You can play with it and not worry too much. So this figure is not just for display, it is actually good for playing too. Some figures in this video are not very playable, but overall this set is surprisingly strong. Honestly, this whole set is almost top tier. But once again, we have the same problem, an uncovered back. I would give this set 4.5 stars, but because of the uncovered backs, I'll give it 4 out of 5. And now it's time to build this set of 8 Minecraft minifigures. Now let's take a look at this Turtle Warrior figure. It's got printing on both the front and the back. This figure looks fantastic, and I've got to say, I'm seriously impressed with the plastic. Next up, we've got the Ranger Hero. The sword looks great too, surprisingly solid and well made. Next up, we've got Steve. There's no print on the back here, and again, the pieces fit together super tightly. Now let's move on to Blaze Runt. I'm really excited to check him out. The next figure is Orc Warrior. Moving on to Swamp Explorer. Next up is FA. Let's take a look at Armorsmith. The print is excellent. placed perfectly in the center. This character comes with a sword and shield in the set. And next, we have a massive set with 30 different figures inside. So here we clearly have a zombie pigman. He comes with a stick of TNT. Moving on to the next character. Clearly it's a spider. In my opinion, his legs are too movable. You could even say they're a bit wobbly. But the build itself holds together quite well. And now we're moving on to the next character, and it's the classic Creeper, a super simple little figure. And now let's quickly build a Steve minifigure. And what do you think we are going to do with him next? Repaint him? No. We are going to turn this Steve into a half Steve, half zombie figure. And it's going to be epic. Here we do the usual, take the figure, mark where we are going to cut, and grab our favorite tool. You all really love watching me cut up figures. I enjoy it too, it's fun, and the results are always very unusual creations. The last time I cut up a figure was when I made the Terminator. If you haven't seen that video yet, you should check it out. It's an epic one. Next, I use this attachment to finish cutting and clean up the figure. When we attach the legs, there's this little purple stud sticking out that we don't need. So we repeat the same operation we did with the Terminator. We cut it off. Then we sand everything down so it all looks neat. Let's tidy things up a bit and smooth out Steve's body. Alright then, let's move on to the serious part, modifying the headpiece. So while cutting this piece, I tried to keep this round stud intact, the one that allows the head to attach to the body. That means we only need to cut this section of the zombie head. I cut off this section and now we need to bring all these parts together. To make the pieces fit nicely, we'll have to do quite a bit of work with a file and a knife. I ended up using the file quite a lot. The rough side of the file works really well for this kind of work. It helps create a nice, clean angle. Alright, it looks like Steve's head is finally prepared. Now we move on to the zombie head, sand it, test the fit, sand it again, test it again, keep trying until the pieces line up. When everything more or less worked out, we'll add a brain, because what kind of zombie doesn't have a brain? And later we'll also add some redness using nail polish. I assembled the head using the same air-dried clay that we've already used many times to build parts for our characters. Since this clay doesn't permanently lock things in place, I also add a few drops of super glue to secure everything. Then I let the head dry, and the next day we take a look at the result. The two halves of the headpieces have become one piece. Yes, there are quite a lot of uneven spots here, but that actually works in our favor. We'll paint everything with red nail polish anyway, and this area will become the brain. Let's grab some white clay. I attach it and add a little texture using red and green markers. This will be the brain, half taken over and infected by the zombie. I think it actually looks pretty good. I'll finish it with red nail polish at the very end. For now, let everything dry. We'll leave the final touches on the head for later and move on to the body. Here, we need to add a rib and some inside details. I take white clay and shape it into a rib. For the inside, I first use red clay and then add some brown clay for extra texture. I made this whole structure, and honestly, I didn't like it right away, so I'm going to redo it. It just looks really not great. I decided to remove everything from inside the minifigure and widen the opening. Then we'll make it look like the inside is coming out a bit. I think that will look much more dramatic. So we cut, sand, and polish. Basically the usual routine. Alright, for the inside details I mixed up this pink clay. The first attempt didn't work out, but the second one actually looks pretty good. Now we'll glue everything in place and add some color with a red marker, and it will look much better. And again, at the very end, I'll add a little red detail using red nail polish. For the right leg, I decided to use a Hulk leg. I attach it, and then I notice something. The Hulk leg isn't very high quality. The print is only on the front, nothing on the sides or the back. But that's not a problem, we'll fix it. I grabbed some purple nail polish and painted the leg, and while it was drying, I decided to have a little fun with our Hulk arm and give it a zombie look. We turn on the stove and begin our little experiment. As I later found out, you can actually soften plastic by dipping it into boiling water. But I decided to use a little heat to give the piece a more rough and uneven look. I wanted to change its shape so it would look more like a zombie arm. Then I glue it in place with cyanoacrylate glue, and this is the zombie arm we ended up with. Let's put the head on right away and then add, just like I promised, a few touches of red nail polish. I think it looks really cool and creepy. A few more touches with a marker and our zombie finally takes its final form. In my opinion, it looks really awesome and dramatic. I'm not sure the camera fully captures all the creepy volume and texture. In real life, it actually looks pretty great, and the best part is that it wasn't very difficult to make. The final touch is adding a bit more red nail polish at the bottom. And here we have our final zombie figure. I think it definitely deserves a like. Drop a like and leave a comment to support the video. I personally really love how this figure turned out. And now we are going back to our set to build even more Minecraft figures. This is a blaze. There's nothing too exciting in terms of moving parts, but it looks unusual and it is definitely something you can play with. Let's keep going and see who's next. It's the Wither. The build is extremely simple, but I do appreciate the use of a clicking joint mechanism for the moving parts. It feels higher quality, lets you position things at just the right angle, and it's less likely to get loose compared to other types. Looks like we've got a snow golem, and he's got little launchers. These tiny cannons actually shoot pretty powerfully. They can launch a piece all the way across the room, so watch your eyes. Who's our next character? Looks like someone pretty big, probably. I'm guessing it's an Iron Golem. The build is extremely simple. The quality of all the joints is quite good. No complaints there. It's a very playable figure. And now let's upgrade this Iron Golem. In the original LEGO version, at least the legs are fully covered, so it looks a little better than my copy. On top of that, I don't like the design of these arms or the head being attached right in the center. Alright then, let's start with the head. I took one piece from my old LEGO collection and attached the head like this. Not in the middle, but closer to the edge of the body. That immediately made the golem look more hunched. But do you see this? There's a neck here and there really shouldn't be one at all. So we grab our old friend, the file, and start sanding it down. And the result is great right away. I really like how it looks. Honestly, it even looks better than the original LEGO version. So the head is done, and I'm happy with it. Now let's move on to the body. What do I want to change? I want to improve the left side of the golem and make it more detailed, like it's overgrown with plants. And I also want to fix the arms. I really don't like those joints sticking out. Let's take the figure apart. I remembered that I had received some new pieces for one of my projects. A whole bunch of greenery and plants, including palm trees and small trees. But most importantly, that set also included these tiny little pieces. And those are exactly what I'm going to use. Let's quickly take apart our golem and use only LEGO pieces this time. The key here was choosing a piece that instantly gave us a closed hand without that ugly joint. I really didn't like that joint at all. As for the other arm, I'm going to use this little piece here. It will come in handy. We'll place some plants on it. There's just one small issue here. This little peg would prevent the head from sitting properly in place. So I decided to file it down the same way I did with the head. And now the left side of the golem looks great. Now we move on to the arm. I fill it very simply with these small pieces, little flowers. In my opinion, the golem immediately started to look more correct. This is purely my personal preference. I didn't like this hand, so I decided to replace it with the same type as the one on the left, so they would match. And I'm really happy with the result. Let's build a few more of the most interesting minifigures from this set. But this is not even close to the end. because next we still have big figures and another huge set full of different Lego-style Minecraft figures, so keep watching. Next up, we clearly have some kind of animal. Something tells me this is a cow.
Moo, moo.
I like it. It looks really nice. And now here's some long-armed dude. Looks like an Enderman to me. Let's build him and see how he turns out. Alright, and who's this? Looks like a wolf you can tame and turn into your protector and companion. Pretty cool. And this one seems to be a horse. Definitely with black hooves. Or maybe it's a donkey. What do you think? Well, I'm going to go with horse. Oh, and here we clearly have a sheep. Such a cutie. A really pleasant character. Its eyes are looking in different directions. This one is a zombie with a sword. Strange that his head looks like a zombie's, but his hands are white. Looks like the designers missed something or got a bit mixed up here. And the next one is definitely another zombie. And again, his hands are weird. White, while the rest of him is green. And what do we have here? Honestly, I have no idea what this gray character is. Looks like some kind of skeleton. This is Herobrine Steve. Basically Steve, but corrupted and scary with those creepy white eyes. And now it's time to build the big Minecraft figures. These are not Lego, but honestly, they still look pretty cool. And of course, we are going to compare them with regular Lego minifigures to see how big they really are. So let's lay out what we have today and get started with the build.
Yeah.
We'll begin with this Iron Golem. Right away you can see that the plastic isn't the best quality. I mean, even our non-original Lego sometimes feels a bit nicer, but still, it's perfectly acceptable. I wouldn't call it terrible. Now let's build the same character, but in its minifigure version. I have to say right away that the plastic in this minifigure is a little bit better than in the big one. The colors are more vibrant, so overall I can give this figure a thumbs up. Of course, it's not meant to be displayed on a shelf, but for playing with, it works perfectly fine. Moving on to the next character. We have the villager, farmer. The build is super simple. Everything is very straightforward. These big figures are quite funny, of course. They kind of look like Lego, but they're actually not. What do you think? Now let's move on to one of the main characters of today's video, the creeper. Just look at that huge head compared to the minifigure. Now let's move on to Steve, our relatively small Steve. He assembles in the same way as the minifigures. Unlike Lego, you can angle their legs. You can move the arms and even tilt the figures at the hips, turning them around. Also, this Steve comes with a sword that fits in like this. The paint quality on this sword is terrible. I really didn't like it at all, but the figure itself is quite good. Definitely fun to play with. For comparison, let's build a minifigure of Steve in armor with a sword. And now let's move on to the largest and weirdest figure in our set. Starting the assembly. The arms fit in quite snugly, tighter than the previous figures. The hips and legs also fit in pretty firmly. The head is a bit tricky to attach, and the helmet goes on nicely and tightly as well. It's pretty clear that this figure was meant to hold something in its hand, because the sword grip design is the same as the smaller Steve. But there was no weapon included. Maybe you could put some other accessory from the set in there. Nothing really fits in its hand from the accessories. And then I remembered I have a little original Lego surprise. A big Minecraft sword. See, it even has the Lego logo on it. Let's try to get this sword into its hand. I haven't tried it before, so let's see if it's even possible. I have to say, it's not easy to fit, so the character ends up being playable, but without any extra accessories. Now let's check out the final look of our Steve, and also the two smaller Steves from the non-original Lego. Here's how all our Steves look side by side. Which one do you like best? Write in the comments. And now let's build another huge set of Minecraft minifigures. Here is a tiny pig in addition to our bigger one. And here you can see me putting together what I believe is the beekeeper character skin. The plastic quality really stands out. It feels smooth and pleasant. Let's take a look at the turtle. And this is the turtle we ended up with. Next up we have a pirate. I'm pretty sure we had the same style of minifigures in the previous set as well, so let's compare them. Oh, this is a creeper, but a purple enchanted one. And it has a transparent head. And once again we have a mob that looks similar to the previous pirate and to the villager. This one is a traitor. As far as I can tell, this is an ocelot skin. A figure like this appeared in the LEGO set The Modern Treehouse. It's easy to assemble even without instructions. Moving on to the next figure. Here we clearly have a blue ultra-fast horse. Just look at this magnificent head. I absolutely love the design. The minifigure that comes with the horse is Alex. Moving on, and next up we have a really cool antagonist, the red skeleton on a horse. It's assembled a bit differently, but after I built the first horse, assembling the second one was noticeably easier. This one is put together slightly differently. As you can see, it has a devilish tail and an unusual head and neck construction. It looks very epic. Here we have a simple skeleton figure. We've seen these many times, both in official LEGO and in unofficial sets. This skeleton is also supposed to hold a bow. As for the helmet, it fits perfectly here as well, and the figure looks absolutely awesome overall. I really like it. They've apparently fixed one of the flaws from the previous figure. See this hole where you can place the minifigure? It actually looks like the character is riding the horse here. The previous build didn't have this. The minifigure was just placed on top. Moving on, and next up we have a llama. It's assembled quite easily, though I did have to think a little while putting it together without instructions. I really like how these animals are made in the Minecraft collection. They're so cute, built in such a simple way, yet they look amazing. Let's move on, and here we have what I think is the Branzycraft skin. The minifigure is assembled in a standard way, nothing special. But the cart construction without instructions definitely raised some questions for me. I really slowed down while assembling it, but after giving my brain a little workout, I managed to figure it out. Moving on, let's take a look at this donkey. I saw this figure in the set photos when I was buying it, and I instantly liked it. I was genuinely excited to build it, because it looked really cute. This is probably one of my favorite figures in the entire set, even though it's very simple. What do you think? The next figure is funny. This is the slime. Let's move on, and we have... Who is this? A fish. Yes, it's a puffer fish, also known as a fugu fish. Alright, let's keep going. And here we have the glow squid. The construction is elementary and very simple. I assembled it quite easily, even without instructions. Everything was intuitive right away. The plastic quality is pretty good. And here we have yet another creeper, this time a red explosive one. And moving on, next up we have this flying ray, the Phantom. The construction is very basic, everything assembles easily. I quite like it. Let's take a look at the Scarecrow. It's easy to assemble. It's a simple, straightforward figure. Great for playing and a nice addition to your collection. Let's keep going, and next up we have the Nether Adventurer. By the way, this one has printing on both the front and the back, which is really nice. The netherite helmet is pretty cool, and this figure comes fully equipped. It also includes a netherite sword and a warped fungus on a stick. We have a small animal here. What is it? Either a squirrel or a fox. Such a tiny, adorable little thing. And now we're assembling a chick, or a chicken. I assume it's a chick because it's so small. Moving on, and now we're assembling a piglin. And next up we have a goat. I had to struggle a bit to figure out how to assemble it. Thank goodness I eventually figured it out. The result is such a cute little figure. And next we have a tiny cow. It's the same size as the pig, tiny and very cute. And next we have a drowned zombie with this interesting curved sword, more like a saber. It also comes with a pickaxe. We already had other zombies in the previous set. And here we have the mushroom. Next up we have a polar bear. It ended up being a surprisingly cute, yet slightly intimidating bear. Oh, it's a bee. There's something incredibly charming about these tiny figures. Alright, moving on. And once again, we have a piglin. We had similar armor in the previous set. Back then, the plastic was low quality, and unfortunately, here we have exactly the same poor quality plastic on the armor. The figure itself feels high quality, but the chest armor is awful, exactly the same as in the previous set. So, let's improve it. For this work, we'll need small nail files like these. It's very important to sand the armor so the paint sticks properly. Otherwise, it may peel off. First we sand the surface and then we clean it with alcohol. See how the plastic should look after sanding? It used to be glossy, but now it's matte. Paint sticks really well to a matte surface like this, and it will hold much better. I sanded every single piece. But sanding the sword took a little extra effort. I used this attachment for the tool you already saw earlier. With very gentle movements, I cleaned it up, removing all the plastic bumps and the numbers that were molded onto the sword. The pieces there are numbered, and honestly, it didn't look very nice. After that, I clean all the parts and wipe them with alcohol to degrease them so the paint sticks better. Then I apply gold acrylic paint. It's important to apply it in several layers. Let one layer dry, then add another. I try to brush each layer in the same direction so there aren't uneven streaks. Of course, it's not perfect, but I did my best. After the paint dries, I lightly sand it with the finest attachment to smooth out any imperfections, and then I apply the final layer. I also decided to paint the handle of the sword with brown. Now let's assemble our Steve in golden armor. The color turned out really great, a rich, shiny gold, but the overall paint quality could definitely be better. And just look at this army. Today we built a whole bunch of Minecraft figures. Some of them are small, some of them are huge, some are simple, and some are actually really cool. So now tell me in the comments, which figure is your favorite from this video? And if you enjoyed this build, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and watch more Minecraft builds on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.